checkup here at Brain Foreplay on Mental Monday.
Welcome everyone to Brain Foreplay, where you get your checkup from the neck up on Mental Mondays. We bring you a little nugget, a little piece of information every Monday to help you mentally, emotionally, and psychologically. Today we're going to talk about a technique called conscious uncoupling, and it's a technique we use to help couples who have separated and are maybe perhaps in the divorce process to do it in a more amicable, friendly, loving, and kind way. Going through the divorce process is a challenge for many people. I can attest to that. I went through a divorce about 3 to 4 years ago, and I can tell you the divorce process, the legal aspect, dealing with divorce attorneys, dealing with forensic accountants, etc., was more challenging than the emotional and psychological divorce of itself from my ex-wife. And I really think there's an impact on the children too, financially. I know that we spent in excess of $200,000 on divorce attorneys, and if you think about that, we could have kept that money in the family. An alternative to that is what we use in the performance psychological world called conscious uncoupling. And what it means is you have a psychologist, a therapist, a coach that walks you through the uncoupling part. You talk about what your needs are, what you want. It's not a fight. It's not a fight over money. There's a groundwork set that if it's not solution based, we don't use it. And when you use solutions and look for solutions, guess what you find? Solutions. So what we do is we help couples uncouple in a friendly, amicable way. People come together, they don't come apart. Families come together, they don't come apart. Most of the time when families get a divorce, most of the time, not all, most of the time they can do it in a friendly way. What happens is in a divorce situation, they're pitted against each other. Attorneys will pit their side against the other side to purposely stoke a fight. Very unethical position to be in terms of you're an attorney and willing to do this. I had conversations with my attorney, Elizabeth Bonanno, here in Denver, that I literally said, ethically, you are charging me money when I tell you I can't afford this anymore. There were times when I told her I could no longer pay her the money she was charging me. She says, well, I'll just drop your case. Conversely, I think about my clients that can't pay their bills, my clients that really are slow pay or behind in paying. I always work it out. I always find a way to help them to get to where they need to be, even if they have to pay me a year later, 2 years later, when they finally pay their bill. Now, that's not good on the bottom line, but it helps people. I'm in the people helping business. Divorce attorneys are supposed to help people. Oftentimes they don't. My marriage, I came out of the situation financially okay, but the situation of the emotional side was tragic. Before we had divorce attorneys, we got along, we talked, we exchanged kids on opposite weekends. Today, we don't even talk because of that fight and everything we went through. So conscious uncoupling is a certified technique that we can take separating and couples that are divorcing or just splitting their lives apart in a very amicable way. It's a very open way of negotiating because everyone gets to state what their needs and their wants are, and it's done in a climate and culture of openness, loving, and accepting. Not one of division, not one of pitting one party against each other. I had a friend that told me, watch out, attorneys will do that. I didn't believe it. I do now. And I just want, for those of you out there in the world that are thinking about getting separated, thinking about going through a divorce, thinking about dividing any kind of union you may have, think of the term conscious uncoupling. Google it, look it up, because it's really a viable technique that will save couples emotionally, psychologically, and more importantly, the kids, the family. Money stays in the family that doesn't have to go out to line attorneys' pockets. Money stays in the family that doesn't have to go to forensic accountants. I had never even heard of a forensic accountant. But basically what it is when an accountant, when the ex makes a charge that you have more money than you do, you have to prove that you don't have that money. And these people can charge you by the thousands to go through your finances. It's really tragic, people, what can happen to a family. financially, emotionally, psychologically. Again, conscious uncoupling is the wave of the future. It's a way to preserve emotionality, psychologically, and preserve the family so that they can go into that new lifestyle of being separated from each other with at least the financial support and base that they can, go off into the world and really be loving and kind. Just because people aren't together doesn't mean they have to hate each other, doesn't mean they have to fight. I want to help change the world and help people understand separating. And I don't even like the word divorce. We got to come up with a new word than divorce. Separating of a union can be healthy, strengthening, illuminating, so much in a growth mindset when you separate sometimes a union. We've got to change that stigma that couples that are together are healthy in general and couples that are apart are unhealthy. That's not true. I am much better off emotionally, psychologically than I was before I was married. Conscious uncoupling, people, go out, Google it, see what it's about. Thank you for tuning in to Brain Foreplay, where you get your checkup from the neck up on Mental Mondays.
Don't forget to join us next week. Same place, same time. To get your checkup from the neck up, fortified by Foreplay. That's Brain Foreplay. And please remember to subscribe to this channel wherever you get your podcast.